Hey, good morning, Greens with Envy Homestead. So this is the one that we bought for my beautiful bride, and it had mechanical problems. If you've done any research on some of the problems, it stems right back to this little solenoid right back there. Most of them. So what this is about, let me just do this real quick. I went ahead and checked the air filter, made sure it was fairly good shape. Got a little bit of carbon buildup, not bad. But let me see if I can put this in here without making you go upside down and inside out, because I kind of want to see it better myself. It's missing a bolt. It has 3 bolts that hold this thing together, and one of them's missing. Now all 3 of those bolts are supposed to be torqued down, I think 7 pounds or something, I can't remember. Anyway, one of them's missing, and as I was reaching my hand down in there trying to find the 3rd bolt, because you can't really see it, I felt oil coming out from the bottom end of it, and I thought, that ain't right, because the reason those are torqued down is so it has a flush mount on that gasket. And that whole solenoid right there, what it does is it recognizes oil pressure and talks to these little fellas right here on the top of the motor. Supposedly that one right there is bad. We've already bought the replacement part for it. But this wiring harness here that's been spliced back together, I'm thinking that ain't right too. See if there we go. I'm thinking this ain't right too. So I'm gonna do a little more research on it and see what I can find out. But don't trust your mechanics. The woman we bought this from, she kept every little piece of paper that she had on it, from a quart of oil down to this. And they obviously, if they did put the 3rd bolt in there, they didn't tighten it up good. It is not in there, regardless. So we're going to take it out. I followed a guy, and I slept since then, so I can't remember what it was, but he actually rebuilt it, and there was no, the solenoid on top is a plunger that goes up and down, and it goes up and down on a plunger that regulates the oil pressure. And what happens is they squirrel. What happens is they get grime and dirt and stuff in there, and kind of looks like a frog. And that's what jams them up. And then that sensor, that sensor, that sensor, and that sensor don't get a proper reading. And that's what causes your problem with your acceleration. So I said all that to give you a bird's eye view of what I think is the problem on this. Is the bolts come out the backside, and if they didn't have enough sense to torque down those last, the screws that holds it in place in the first place, chances are they screwed it up putting it in there. So getting back to not trusting just every mechanic. We took it to a place here in town. Well, I didn't deliberately take it there. I stopped and looked at a boat, and he come out there. And long story short, he put his big fancy $1,000 code reader machine on it. He says, yeah, this is what it is right there. And I've got a dirty, maybe somebody knows the solution. I got a dirty e-coil. Looks like it got a little extra help there. Anyway, he was going to change out the e-coil and change out that for $1,000, and I thought I think that's a little aggressive. So I took it to a second shop here in town. He had it for 4 days and never even got a chance to look at it. So I went and got it, and I said, you know what? I'm not a mechanic, but I'm not stupid. So I'm going to see what I can find out here. Save myself a lot of aggravation and another $1,000. When you're under the hood, do this kind of inspection too. Let's get it in it. Can't hardly see there. There we go. You kind of see some cracking going on in that serpentine belt. Serpentine belt's really supposed to be easy to change out. That's your tensioner pulley. You just grab a hold of that, stretch it out, and that whole belt comes out of there, and it's about a 5-minute process of changing that out. So inspect that. Just inspect all your lines, all your vacuum lines. Check for leaks, obviously, any fluid leaks, cracked or frayed components, that kind of stuff right there, you know. So anyway, I'll make a part 2 to this once I put it back together and let you know what my findings are. But right now it's looking like not mechanical failure, but mechanic failure. So hey, hope I can help somebody out with this. And like, comment, subscribe. You know anything about these Honda Elements? We barely had these things a month. We did so much research on them before we started. We already knew some of the failures on them. That right there is a bulletproof motor. So that's why I told my wife when we were speculating should we or shouldn't we, I said, you know what, it's still a Honda. We can figure out what's wrong with it, and good for another 150,000 miles at least. So hey, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. There will be a part 2, and I'll fill you in on what's going on. Happy 4th of July before I forget. Woohoo! Pop them firecrackers.